Shout out to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kop-Ish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kop-Ish.
Yes, people. What is going on? Welcome to this mad. Yo, let's get this. We gotta talk. We have to talk. I hollered at Cal and I was like, bro, I don't care what you're doing. Look, he's at work. I've dragged him out of a meeting. I don't care what you're doing, bro. We got to talk. What's going on, bro?
Being honest, Drew. All right. In fact, you know, I'm going to be very serious when I speak about it because I could do the whole jokey thing and all that stuff. I'm going to be very serious.
No, do it, bro. Do whatever you feel.
No. I'm gonna be deadly serious. I understand why people are like, what the hell's going on? And there's panic and there's that unhappiness and uneasiness. I fully get it. I really do. But me personally, I don't think it's that bad, this situation. And I'll explain why. We're getting new owners. There's no two ways about it. We're getting new owners.
Are we officially?
Yes. Yeah, we're getting new owners. I personally think it's going to happen a lot sooner than most other people think. And I've been consistent with this. I've been saying this to you guys even behind the scenes when we're not joking about online and all that. I genuinely believe something's going to get wrapped up before January because I don't think FSG would release that sort of information about the club being up for sale unless it was a lot further along than we presumed it would be. Now, we have sat here and we've moaned and complained about the lack of a tweak in the system or changing the system on how we sign players or how we scout players. It's been very data driven. And while it has worked as we were rising and going up on our trajectory, we have more than stagnated. We have gone through a summer where we've seen so many players move to different clubs. We're like, why didn't we go for that person? And look, I'm speculating, but when you add in the fact of, oh, we're so data driven, maybe some of these players didn't meet all the criteria of the data. But football's not all about data. Football is you have to watch players play sometimes. You have to look at the system they're playing in currently. You have to look at the team they're playing in currently. You have to look at the league they're playing. There's so many variables. So for us to be so data driven, it was good as we were rising up because we were able to get gems like Mane, Salah, etc. But when you get to the top, I don't think you can sustain that. You have to start, scouting players, looking who are the up and coming players. Like you look at Kraver at Napoli. I bet he didn't make it through any of the data stuff, but look what he's doing now. So it's little things like that. Also, we don't know, but in my opinion, Klopp's had a lot more transfer control than has been let on. And I think this has been the case since last year, January. We got Diaz and we almost got Carvalho, and then we got Carvalho in the summer, Calvin Ramsey, and then Nunes. And Nunes was fully Klopp signing. We as fans can't sit here saying that we believe in Klopp wholeheartedly, and then when he's making the signings or not making the signings, then throw it on someone else or blame someone. Like for me right now, Klopp signed that new contract basically saying, brother, I'm here. I've won you a league. I've won you a Champions League, FA Cup, everything. I've won you everything here. I need my control. And he's basically getting it, which to me suggests he's either going to live on his word or he's going to die on his word. Also, we don't generally know how good or how bad Julien Ward is because Michael Edwards has always been there. But also, we don't know if these guys are willing or not to tweak how they do things. So we don't know as well if there's new owners sitting behind the background saying, look, this is how we're going to try and run things from now on. Are you on board? And they go, nah, it's not for me. And if that's the case, then no one's bigger than the club. And yes, we hate seeing people leave. And the reason why we hate seeing people leave, especially historically or recent history, is because we've never replaced them properly, whether it be players and stuff before Klopp come in or whatever. We've found it hard to move on from players. I still see people today talking about Luis Suarez. I'm like, can we give it a rest? Like, the guy's gone. He didn't want to be here in the end. He even tried to move to Arsenal. He did what he did to Evra. Like, can we move on? The reason we don't move on is because we don't allow ourselves to move on, because we're never in a position to move on. So for me, I see where the cause for concern is, but I'm also very optimistic as to what we're going to be doing next, because I genuinely don't think it's as bad as people are making out. But look, I've been wrong on here many times, so I'm not saying I'm the oracle. Just my humble opinion. I don't think it's as bad as it seems. But Drift, I know you and Matt were about to rush me in the WhatsApp group. So talk to me.
No, do you know what, bro? After hearing you out, I don't even really disagree to a degree. Like you make a lot of sense. You know, if man articulates what they mean, then you can bring me on board, innit? Like, and I don't listening to you, bro. Like, you make a lot of sense. I can't even really pull any bad points out of what you do.
I'm not streaming from jail, people.
No, someone said that you've got access to the basement finally. Man's down there looking for Naby, bro.
I finished my shift, but I wouldn't have been able to get home in time to film and all that. So I just thought, let me just do it here, and then we move with it, Drew.
Yeah. See that, people? This is what you call dedication. Man's not even home yet, and man's jumping in the thing.
I said Wardens.
All of a sudden, Cal just be like, right back there.
Rikers Island. You guys in the chat are brilliant, man. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, here's one thing I will say though, Bob. Even though you've literally articulated yourself so well that I totally understand where you're coming from. What worries me though, bro, is even though all of the things that you're saying do make a lot of sense. First of all, I don't think Klopp had power up until now. The report that I read said that he will be replacing Ward, and that will be when he gets the power.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, bro. So the talk is
replacing Ward.
The talk is so basically we're not going to have that position, and Klopp is going to become a bit more like what Fergie and Wenger were back in the day, when they were kind of the ones who had the majority of the decision making to do on the transfer.
Replacing the position, you know, but still keeping his own.
Well, they're just gonna like, because remember, we got to remember back in the day, Wenger and Fergie, this is how things ran. We never had man doing their job, bro. Especially Wenger, bro.
No,
but Wenger was the one who did transfers at Arsenal, bro.
No, David Dean was massively influential there. And dare I say, when David Dean left, that's when things started to fall apart.
But David Dean wouldn't tell Wenger who he wanted and all that. Wenger would be the one that would say, I want this guy, go scout him. I want this guy. Wenger would sit down in the meeting and be a part of the negotiation for the players, bro.
All right, can I say?
You get what I'm saying? Like,
all right, can I give you my other side now? Because I've given you my optimistic side. And look, I know I'm going to ruffle feathers, but I want to keep it 100 with you all. My concern with this is now, and this is where I do have my concern, is if Klopp's going to be the be-all and end-all, I'm not happy with that. I think you need yin and yang in everything in life. Drift, how often do me and you disagree on stuff?
Yeah.
All the time. But it makes us elevate ourselves. It makes us think outside the box on certain things. It makes us go, you know, I wasn't seeing it that way. You know, let me see it this way, and vice versa. Like, you have to have that yin and yang. And at the moment, it seems like he's got Pep Linders. And I say these words not being disrespectful, but it seems as though he has Pep Linders, who seems to be the yes man to Klopp as an assistant manager. And if he's got no one pushing him back with transfers, again, he's got no yin and yang. So for me, that's where my concern. And look, I trust Klopp before anyone goes crazy. I trust him. But Jurgen Norbert Klopp is a human being and can make mistakes just like we do. He goes for a wee-wee like us. He goes for a poo-poo like us. He's a human being. He's a phenomenal manager, the best in our recent history. In my opinion, the best in the world. But he cannot do everything, and he cannot be making the decisions on everything. You should be having experts in different realms. And for me, that's my concern, is that Klopp's going to be one, taking on too much, and two, not going to be having anyone pushing back saying, no, you shouldn't be doing that.
No, I hear that, and I'm guessing the way Klopp operates, he will still talk to Pep and them, man, and be like, this is what I want to do. You lot think this is a good idea. So I don't think he's going to make all the decisions on his own. He will just have the final word, though. And I think that's where the difference is going to be, Cal, because up till now, he hasn't had the final word. And that will be the part.
He has drift.
Nah, I don't think he did. Maybe the summer just gone.
100%.
Maybe the summer just gone. But prior to that, he didn't have the last word, bro.
He's always had the last word, bro.
No, I don't mean. I mean, they always want his seal of approval, but I mean the last word as in it doesn't matter what anybody else says. He's never been in that position. Otherwise, we'd have got people like Julian Brandt instead of Mo Salah, bro. Do you get what I mean?
Brandt didn't want to come. Julian Brandt didn't want to come to us.
No, but I know that Klopp wanted Brandt and Salah was offered to him, and then he realised and went, "Okay, cool, all right, let's do this."
No, but Brandt,
he wouldn't have done that if he had full control, bro.
But Brandt didn't want to come to us. It's like Gertz. If Brandt, who else was there?
And are you sure Brandt didn't want to come to us? Because I heard it was just about money.
No, we weren't in Champions League, bro.
But neither were Dortmund.
Yeah, they were.
Not at the time when he went there. I'm sure that was the year they were in the Europa League, bro.
You're right. Yes, you're right. You're right. But we weren't in any form. Well, we weren't in any Europe.
Money. Yeah.
No,
all right, fair enough. Yeah, maybe
any Europe.
Yeah. Maybe that. But like, I believe, I don't know.
And,
anyway,
and with Gertz as well. Remember, bro? Was it Gertz? Was Gertz at Dortmund or Bayern at that time?
No. Do you know what, bro? We were in Europe the year we tried to buy Brandt, bro.
No, we weren't.
I'm sure.
Oh yes, we were. We were. So were Dortmund.
That was the year that we just qualified. Yeah.
So were Dortmund that year. So were Dortmund.
I heard it was about money. I heard he wanted more money than Liverpool were willing to pay him, like wages wise. That's what I heard. The problem was, I don't know, but it's one of them ones where
I remember Klopp came out with that whole phrase of "I don't want you to join when we're winning" or something. I want you to join.
Yeah. I don't want you to join when the train's already moving. I want you to help push the train at the beginning. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Let's
the chat's killing me.
I know, it's a mad thing. Man said Matt's in the canteen, you know. It's always about food. We've got the other situation now where are we falling apart? I think a lot of people could go and look at it the way you are from a positive point of view, but then there's a lot of people that could possibly be looking at it more like the way me and Matt have been looking at it, where are we falling apart here a little bit? We've got the best in the business who's left, reasons unknown, which is a little sketchy as it is. Do you know what I mean? If you pack your bags and you walk out and wifey says, "Where you going?" and you say, "It doesn't matter," and close the door and leave. Do you get what I mean? Like, you're just leaving her completely in the dark, bro.
Yeah, that's wild still.
And that's kind of how he left us. We don't know why. We have no idea why. He just left, bro. And then Ward comes in, and then Ward's only in the job for 6 months and he's already leaving. It does look a little bit like something is wrong. Do you know what I mean? It does look a little bit like what is going on. And I think that's why I've got the trepidation, bro. Yeah, go on.
Shall I call out what it could be? It's one of two things, in my opinion. The new regime coming in, they're not on board with, or they're not happy working with Klopp. It's one of the two.
Or could it be the owner? No. It could be the owners put restrictions on them that make them feel they can't do the best to their ability.
But they're not going to be here for much longer, bro.
No. But we didn't know about new owners when Thingy left, though. When Edwards left. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm talking. But Julian Ward and Ian Graham leaving. It's got to be one of the two. It's got to be they're not happy with what the new owners or the prospective new owners are offering or going to be doing, or they're not happy working with Klopp anymore. Like, it's one of the two.
Is it Ian going while you're in belief that it could be that we've realised that this doesn't work anymore? Because that part there is the part where you're heavily believing on we've got to move away from the statistical stuff and we've actually got to start watching the player and not just buying man based on what he's got.
So I don't think we have to move completely away from it. I just think we have to use a hybrid system. I never believe in life you can just use one thing and it always works. Prime example, I'm not even digging at Matt here, but food, right? You can't cook all food in the oven. You can't. Like some things you got to boil, some things you got to cook, some things you got to barbecue. Like there's a different tool for different things on how you approach them in life. For me, data is important. How often have we done shows where we've compared players and we're like, I didn't realize man had made that many tackles in a season and all this. It's important. But at the same time, just because I see this data on someone, I still have to watch them, because I could start watching them and be like, the reason why they're making so many tackles is because the people they're up against is just terrible.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're like, they wouldn't be able to catch that person if they let them go, for example, or they stop marking that person. You only get that through the eye test. And again, the eye test is subjective, so I get it. But for me, there's got to be something here with Klopp. I mean, we saw Buvac leave. Never knew the real reasons why Buvac left. But Buvac left. We've seen Edwards.
At least we had a little bit of clarification on the Buvac one, though. Because remember, we were told that with Linda's coming in, there was a complete loggerhead out the direction of the club. And he just said, look, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm out. Like, at least we got a bit of clarification on that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with Edwards, man just said, I'm taking a sabbatical. That was it, bro. We don't know what happened. We don't know why. We don't know nothing, bro.
Klopp at Dortmund, though. Klopp at Dortmund did the same, bro.
Yeah, but we knew why, innit? Remember, there was all the thingies that, like, he done what he could with the limitations that he was placed under. Do you know what I mean?
But are we just scared to call Klopp out and say he might be difficult to work with? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. In this situation, it's not great because we lost 2 people. But could we not just say, like, they might not want to work with Klopp anymore?
It could be that. I'm not gonna lie. It could be. Like, there's.
Let me ask you, bro. Do you want us to move completely away from the data stuff, or do you?
I want the data.
How do you want us to?
I want the data to be about 30% of the operation, and I want 70% of the operation to be actual scouting, and that kind of thing. Like, I want us to actually go back to the old school way of, you watch a player for 6 months to a year, you study the way he plays, you understand whether he can fit the system, you look at his attributes, then you put the stats on top of that and figure out where you come to a common ground. I think when you're heavily reliant on the statistical data, you're right. You could be playing up against really easy opposition and rack up the stat. That's what we call stat padding. And a lot of people forget that. Or you could look at it and go, right, man got 24 goals this season. That's amazing. But he got 8 hat-tricks in the first half of the season and then didn't score for 20 games. Right. Do you get what I mean? And you'll be looking at it, you'll be like, well, we didn't score for 20 games. That's not really consistent, is it? Yeah. So, like, you have to, do you know what I mean? You have to you're right. You have to watch players. And I want the statistical part to be a third of what we do. I want it to be a lot more heavily based on actually watching a player, who was he up against, and actually knowing if he'll fit the system that way, not just in a statistical way. And then I believe that the Moneyball thing has to stop as well, because a lot of the reasons why people do the stats, Carl, a lot of the reasons why people do the stats is because they want to try and get a player who's very cheap, but big up the stats, make it look like he's better than people think he is, and then bring him into a team and allow him to flourish. That is the whole point in Moneyball. And it worked to a degree. If you go and look at players that even by the eye test we knew were good players, people like Wijnaldum were brought in based on the data they were given. And it wasn't much about the eye test. It was about what his data was. And then it worked. So it can work.
All right.
But it's a very risky way to do it.
We say it works. But again, no disrespect to Mane, Salah, Wijnaldum, all these players, like, they got us to the promised land, and they, for me, will always have a special place in my heart. But there was 2 players that came in that changed everything. Alisson, who was the best goalkeeper available at the time on big money, and Virgil van Dijk, who was the best centre-back available for big money. Like, we keep on kidding ourselves that money doesn't help a situation. Like, you only have to look at our most expensive buys, 2 of which, in my opinion, probably the most important buys under Klopp, to see how they've transcended and taken his club to a new level. Like, we don't win the things that we won without getting those players. And look, Flacco's in there as well, don't get me wrong. Robbo's there, Trent obviously coming through. But everything, shout out to Jamie. I was speaking to Jamie earlier. Big up Jamie. But everything you look at how us spending silly money at the time actually catapulted us from going from a Champions League challenging team, top 4 team, to we're going to push City every season to within 1 or 2 points of winning the league. That doesn't just happen. And for me, the whole Moneyball was good to getting us in the Champions League, but Moneyball's not sustainable. And again, I hate to do this, but I've got to do it. Journalists now coming out and certain accounts who I'm not going to mention, and before anyone says, I'm not even talking about Redmond or Anfield Rap, we get on well with those guys, and they always articulate their points of view. So before anyone starts to think it's them, it's not. See, certain big accounts on Twitter, they're all saying the same thing now. Should have been spending more money. This is happening. Where were you guys when we were saying this years ago, when it wasn't fashionable, when we had proof to bring to the table? Where was everyone doing that? Because for me right now, it just feels like you're doing it just to save face, or you're doing it for likes and tweets because you just wanted to preserve your position, or you just wanted to dump on people like us who wanted to challenge what was going on. We didn't say from the beginning we want everyone out. We said no. Why isn't this adding up? Why isn't that adding up? Why is it we won the Champions League but we can only spend 4 million in the summer? Why is it we won the Premier League but we're still having to sell to buy? Why is it we can't buy Fekir and Alisson? Why is it we can't do this and do that? Why is it we can't do these things continuously? Why is it that I'm seeing journalists writing articles in the summer saying, why are fans moaning? We've just come off the season where we've almost won the league and we've added Nunes and Calvin and Carvalho. What are we moaning for? Because we could see the glaring deficiencies. We could see it. Everyone could see it, whether you're within the club or outside of the club. So now that they're doing this, I'm like, you've probably seen, Drew, I ain't tweeted about any of this stuff for a while because I'm just like, I do not want to get into back and forth with people who, in my opinion, don't have the best interest of the club at heart. They have their own best interests at heart. And that's fair enough, but just don't be fake about it. And for me, things are going to have to change. And I do think this new ownership is going to change things. And I think that ownership's going to come a lot sooner than we think, bro. And I can't wait for it.
Yeah, you made a good point,
ready,
man.
bro.
And the funny thing is, we didn't do it with any thought about what could happen in the future. We didn't do it with any thought about any motives, any agendas, nothing. We were just 3 guys who loved the team, are intelligent enough to figure things out, and we're sitting there and just saying to people, look, we don't want to sound spoiled because we know we just won the Champions League, or we know we just won the league, or whatever it was. But there are glaring deficiencies that are going to come and bite us in the backside if we don't fix them. And you're right. Everybody would be like, you lot are just spoiled. What's wrong with you? How are you moaning? I had fans of other clubs saying, like, bro, your owners are good. Why are you complaining? Like, look how many things you've won. And I would always say to them, bro, I can see the bigger picture. We can see the bigger picture. We know people are going to catch up with us if we don't do something about it. We just want the best and we want to maintain it. And now you're right. Everybody's all cottoning on now. And now they want to act like they weren't the ones telling us that we were being stupid a year ago or 2 years ago. And it's like, it's not an I told you so situation because we're not in it to do that. But you're not coming up to us and being like, you know what? Now, my bad for real. Like, you kind of did see it. I gave you abuse and I shouldn't have. Nobody's going to do that, bro. They're going to act like they didn't do it and jump on a bandwagon now and just flip-flop all over the place, bro. And it's a little bit infuriating, but it is what it is, isn't it? I guess at the end of the day, as long as we all get on the same page at the end, that's all that matters, right? Let me get through a couple of these supers before we talk about the last thing.
And look, about it, I understand we could go left in it. We could get owners who are doing upper madness and doing bad in it. I just don't think we will. Like, I just don't think we will.
Keep an eye on any more company from me, please, bro. Sean says, somebody freak out. He never said quad.
quad. There we go. You're good.
Math, big up Math says, I'm chief executive, also left. Something brewing. Big up Show Hussey's become a member. And speaking of that, remember, guys, all members are being entered into our competition, our special competition, to win that Jordan Henderson signed shirt and autobiography book, which we will obviously be talking about and promoting again in tomorrow's Friday night show. So big up show for becoming a member. Andra, on that, I said, I recently became a member of this channel and I can't lie, the videos are lit for the members. Andra, big up yourself, bro. I know Andra's been rocking with us for a minute as well, so I appreciate that, bro. And I hope you guys are enjoying the World Cup so far as well, the Kop-Ish World Cup. Selection, maybe Klopp weren't interested in the options Ward brought to him. Klopp had a lot more to say on transfers in the last 12 months. According to Paul Judge. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Cal. I think it's recently when he's had a lot more, but not in the last past, 12 months. Not under Edwards, he didn't.
Maybe.
Maths is back again. FSG laughed at him because he wanted Jude, so he bounced. That would be disappointing, I tell you that much.
Ain't gonna be here much longer.
Big up Jamrock. Barry Hunter might be leaving as well. Wow, I didn't. Did you know about that? Did you know about that, Cal?
No. But
I didn't know about that as well.
Look, and I'm going to say this. You can't scream for change and then moan when change starts happening. Like, I can't. I'd be the biggest hypocrite if I sat here and was like, no, we need to keep all these men. Because I'm like, I've been screaming for change. Change comes, and look, change is gonna make some things awkward. It's gonna make some things sticky. Like, change isn't always all good. Like, sometimes you got to take the rough with the smooth, and look, if we got to take the rough with the smooth, we see where it goes. But there was no way it was going to be change and there weren't going to be casualties. It always happens.
Yeah, nah, real talk, man. Big up Pimp says, just dropped in to say hi as I'm tied up. Pause right now. Catch up with GG's later. Yeah, big up.
Big up, Pimp.
Big up, Pimp. Yeah, man said he's tied up. Yeah, okay. Tell her not to hurt you. Voice of reason. Big up, bro. Says Henderson vets new deal, then Edwards leaves. Jones gets a new deal, and now Ward leaves. Looking like there's a disconnect between Klopp and the director of football. I mean, do you know what though?
That's a bit of a reach on the Jones thing.
Yeah. And what I will say on that one is, remember, the director of football is there to facilitate Klopp, regardless of whether Klopp has say. So if there's a player that Klopp wants to keep for his squad, if the director of football leaves because of that, then he's just being a big baby. Because it's still about the manager having players he wants. You can't just literally go, right, he did something I don't want, I'm out of here like that. Come on, man, that is throwing your toys out of the pram. If that was the case.
I agree and disagree. I agree in the sense of, yeah, they will work together, but I disagree because if you're director of football and you're saying, Klopp, you need this and you need that, and Klopp's going, yeah, I do, and he's saying, well, you need to get rid of certain things or move players on, and he's saying, no, I just need new, and I'm not like Curtis is staying. You can understand the frustration.
No, I can understand.
And remember, he's not new. He's only new to the role. He's not new to Liverpool Football Club. So he is probably carrying frustrations that he had from working under Edwards and is now directly liaising with Klopp. So it's all right. Prime example, Drew. Say, for example, I was working as a customer service advisor and you're the manager. We're working together, but I'm not your assistant manager. You're not coming to me with certain things. So I'm going to have my frustrations for the organization, with the shop, whatever. If I then move up to assistant manager and the frustrations increase, then I might move on. So I don't think it's a bad thing that he's moved, like in that regard. If it's a case of they disagree, I'd rather he moves on than it gets toxic.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I'm just saying, if you get to do the majority of what you want to do, but there's just odd things like giving Jones a contract that you disagree with, and then you throw your toes out the pram, I just think that would be over the top. Like, it'd be like leaving your girlfriend because she let you paint the whole house white, but when you went to work, she painted the bedroom pink. You could be a little annoyed you got to sleep in a pink bedroom now, but what are you going to leave her? She let you paint all the other rooms. Like, it'd just be like, it'd just be like spoiled behavior. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would find that very, I don't know, I'd find that a bit stupid, but Sean says, put a jumper on, Cal. That doorstep must be.
No, it's worse because the shirt colour I'm wearing blends in as well. It just
yeah, I know. It is. I
wasn't expecting this today.
Even look, everything behind you, bruv. It's like you colour coordinated. And big up Sean again. Says a few arrows on that grey and you're ready to go.
He said the one before that. He said that doorstop must be heavy.
I'm not gonna lie, that it does look like a weighty fire door behind you being kept open.
It's weighty. It's weighty.
It's probably one of them wedge ones, isn't it? It's not even a block. It's that one that has the wedge under it.
Yeah, it's still.
LFCR says the maddest thing is we had it all up there with Edwards and Klopp. We were packed with funds from FSG. Oh, we just packed the funds from FSG. If Edwards and Klopp had real funds, we ain't here. No, I agree with that. I definitely think if they'd have funded the club more. And there's a lot of rumours going around, Cal, from what I've read, that we've got 280 million available in terms of, to not go over FFP. No, I know. So what that means is we've got more money available, or around the same amount of money available as Mike Ashley left Newcastle with when he left. So if he was considered a bad owner for not spending, FSG have to be looked at in a very similar way in terms of why is there such a big amount of money available to not go over FFP? No, bro, because what that means is they were spending way within their means when they should have been doing more to make sure that the outcome was greater.
Bad owners in the sense of, I think we have to caveat the words bad owners, bro.
All right, bad owners in terms of squad investment.
Yes, we have to caveat, because when it comes to bad ownership,
fair enough.
Mike Ashley's bottom of the barrel. Man, he changed the stadium name to the Sports Director.
Yeah.
Like that's the equivalent of FSG changing our stadium name to the Red Sox Arena. Like we would flip. In terms of spending in squad investment, they've not been good at all. But in terms of everything else, they have been, dare I say it, close to exceptional. They have been.
No, I hear you. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You have to word it right, for real. Jamrock says, third option.
Big up Jamrock.
Edwards got a job running a team and Ward and Graham will bring them. Don't say that. What's he saying? He's going to go and he's scouting their man away from us now.
What did I say earlier? Balalala's coming. You know when Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman rock up and everyone goes, they're back. That's going to be Steve Ballmer and Edwards.
You think so, yeah?
Yeah, man. Something's brewing, man. Something's definitely brewing, man.
Jamal's also saying he hopes Fallows doesn't leave because obviously Buvac left because of Pep as well. So people think it seems people are starting to kind of assume or make speculation that there's a lot of in-house fighting going on with Liverpool at the moment.
I'm not going to lie. I know this is a part of the agenda. Pep Linders talks too much. He just does. He talks too much, and it's got to stop. Like, I don't know if Klopp's saying for him to do all this, he's got to stop. Like, what he was doing quotes today, and I'm like, bro, why don't you just stop talking? Like, are you that bored? Like, are you that accessible? Like, why don't you just stop? Every other day, I go on Twitter, I'm seeing Pep Linders interview or Pep Linders quote. You're an assistant manager, bro. You're an assistant manager.
Yeah, but you got to remember, one thing I will say, your assistant manager has the power that is allowed to be had by the main manager. So if Klopp is giving him the power, effectively he's doing what he's told. No,
Drift, I'm not talking about press conference and all that. Why are you going above and beyond? It really does feel like he's just trying to get his name out there. Like, I'm not being funny. He's been at Liverpool before and took a managerial role. He wants to be a manager. Like, and I don't have a problem with that ambition, but brother, just at least hide it a bit better. You just every day you're talking, bro. Are you doing stuff on the training pitch? Are you figuring out a new system? Are you doing all this? Because from August till now, instead of signing players, bro, you've been getting players to sign your book. Like, just stop talking, man.
But
It's weird to me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, we'll chop that on more tomorrow, innit? Because we need to go into more depth on that. Ash, big up, bro. Is it too obvious the resignations are changing of the guard? New owners are imminent. The model is changing, and these guys won't work under the new model. That's what you were saying, Cal, to be fair.
Not that they won't work on the new model. They might just not want to be there.
No, I mean the changing of the guard part. Like that was kind of
yeah.
what you was alluding to. That you think
There's new owners have to be coming soon. Like it just wouldn't make sense. Even the valuations dropped according to Sky Sports now. Remember, I said this the other day, and everyone's like, it can't be true. Again, not saying I came up with this, but I read it from credible people. Like, there's no smoke without fire, man.
Messi FC Mayweather Consortium. Thinking emoji it is the thinking emoji, isn't it? We would be unreadable. I ain't putting no shade on Mayweather to get thump up, I tell you that much. Sean, well, it's one of your favorite super chat fans, Big 50 today. Come on, bro. Of course you can have a drop of the beat, bro. Big up your damn self, Sean, each and every time. Happy birthday,
you don't look 50 at all either, bro. What's the secret?
I was just about to say that as well, for real. Big up yourself, man.
Happy birthday, brother.
Yes, happy birthday, man. Big up your damn self.
Man.
I don't know. I'm hoping this is more on the good news side than for sure on his birthday. That like this is the future looking promising rather than it looking bleak. You know what I mean? Troy, big up. I haven't seen Troy for a minute. Big up. Cal got that Marvin Home Alone 2 hair. and the man comes in with the shade.
Big up Troy. Troy's my guy, man. Always
man said man's been electrocuted, you know. Ash says, wouldn't be surprised if Edwards is getting his crew together and taking them somewhere else. This is what Finger was just saying as well.
That'd be awkward
for next season. New project or something. Yeah, brother. He could be rounding up the troops, brov. I'm not even gonna lie.
Night, yeah. If you don't want someone all up in the books. All up in the interviews. Sign the Michael Edwards.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'd be awkward. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be very awkward if that happened.
James says, send me a VO call. VO call?
Visiting order.
Oh man. Messi FC, Cal looks like a parent. He's at a parent teachers conference. Don't give me joke. Yo, what's good? Big up, bro. I think there's a major disagreement between Klopp and Edwards, hence why he left. If Paul Joyce is right and Klopp has more to say now in the last 12 months, that's why Edwards is still with us.
That's why Edwards was still with us.
No, but it would have been. Maybe he was already fed up though, wasn't it? So like it was the last 6 months of his tenure and he'd already made his decision. Do you know what I mean? Of like,
no, but we knew from, wasn't it, at the beginning of the season that he was leaving at the end of the season?
We did actually. Yeah, you're right. We did.
I'm telling you, I genuinely believe Klopp's had a lot more control than. I don't think he would have signed a contract without it, like personally.
Hold on, what Doogie's saying? Did you not hear Diaz's comments about wanting to join us?
Yeah.
It low key. Hopefully, we aren't just as. No, I didn't hear about that. What? Wait, what?
Yeah, yesterday he came out and said, it was my dream to play for a Spanish club. It was a bit of a childish dream, but I'm at one of the biggest clubs in the world now and want to win trophies with Liverpool. Basically,
that's on minor. That's on minor.
It's not minor, Drew. Basically,
that's my bro. He's South American, Cal. We all know Real Madrid and Barcelona is the destination of all South American players when they're growing up. Come on, man. We know that. Like, we can't be naive. There's no way we can.
Hence why I'm saying we go and get Craven now, innit? While he's still young. And if Diaz looks to dip, then we got someone already there.
Yeah, we're not a stepping stone. Because if I'm being honest with you, I'm sure I heard a quote years and years ago of Salah saying that he grew up loving Real Madrid and he decided to stay with Liverpool and didn't duck out. Like, things can change. I don't always think that
there's a difference. So Salah said he grew up loving them. Diaz says he dreamed of playing in Spain.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think we can be naive enough to believe there isn't any South American footballers who grew up as kids and didn't want to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona. It'd be very naive.
No, I agree. What I mean? Like, I just don't want to hear him say it. That's like
I hear that.
That's like me saying, "Oh yeah, babe, I ran into my high school crush and she's still looking boom," you know. She's aging like wine, babes. Yeah. Now we exchange numbers. We're gonna go for lunch next week. Like,
No,
but
you
anyway,
never
I'm
done
still.
that, man. You never done that, man, bro. You didn't do that. That's doing the most.
But anyway, we're still. But anyway, babes, we're still together. Should we go to bed now? Like,
it would
probably
probably
up the stairs, bro.
It would be more like if you said to your girl, when I was growing up, I always thought that I'd end up with like a Rihanna. But like I got to a certain age when I realized it was a bit unrealistic.
You say that
so like
just settling.
No, not settling, but I just realized I'm only gonna really be able to meet girls in my ends. Like it was like, why am I thinking I can go and be with Rihanna when I've got to deal with what's in my ends? So I met a girl in London. Like it is what it is. Like. It is what it is, bro. Hey, man, like Eastwood, big up tomorrow's show sponsor for the Friday call-in show. Eastwood says we coming for that smoke on Friday. Team USA. Oh yeah, England and
I'm not Team England, so I'm neutral on this still. Like, I want no smoke.
Big up Rods each and every time as well.
Big up Rods,
Matt. Big up the Ras clutch. Big up your Ras clutches. Now, big up
Uncle Rods, man.
Big up, man. And one more super from Catnip. Catnip gives me so much joke in the chat. I'm never.
Bruv. Tell you, we've got the best chat in the world, man.
Says, how much time did they give you, Cal, and what did you do?
I'm doing a little stretch. He told FSG they had to dip in it.
Prisoner Matt, I'm not gonna lie, this is hilarious. The DP. Shearer said Trippier has better crossing than Trent. Nah, did he really?
Of course.
Oh yeah, he plays for Newcastle.
Trippier. Don't listen to what these people say sometimes, man. That's like me saying flipping. I don't know. Robbie Fowler had better finishing than R9. Like I'm gonna say stuff like that. So I love Fowler to bits, but deep down we know it ain't the truth. He knows deep down. If Shearer's playing today, you ask Shearer who'd rather have playing at right back, crossing him a football. Trent or Trippier, and you'll see him. You know, on the lie detector where the lines go like that. You'll see that on Shearer's piece of paper.
Yeah. But I'm not mad at him because everyone has their bias towards their own people, innit? So just quickly before we go, because Cal, obviously, I know, like, let's let you get home. But just quickly, I want to talk about this, and I want to set this up for tomorrow. So we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but we have to address it because a lot of people have been mentioning it briefly in the chat. So let me just share the screen with you real quick. Can you see that, bro?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if I can make this bigger. 1 second.
Yeah, Arab money.
Is that easier to see now? Yeah.
Arab money.
So Saudi Arabian government speak out on potential Liverpool takeover. The sports minister of Saudi Arabia has stated that the Saudi Arabian government would definitely support private sector bids for Liverpool and Man United. Speaking to BBC Sport, Prince Abdulaziz, I hope I said that right, bin Turkey Al Faisal. Whoa, that is a bloody... I hope I said that right, because if I butchered that, then I apologize. Said that there was a lot of interest and appetite in the two clubs, both of which have seen our owners open themselves up to part of the investment in the last 2 weeks. Liverpool owners Fenway Sports Group, aka FSG, expand their search for investment through an equity sell to a willingness to listen to offers for the club a fortnight ago. It was a move followed by the Glazer family and United. Yeah, they are big boy copycats. I'm not even going to lie. Big boy copycats. And there obviously is a picture of him speaking. Right, I said it perfectly. Big up, man. Big up to me still. Because I'm not going to lie, I was very worried I was getting that wrong. Still. Yeah, I was very worried I was getting that wrong. So, Cal, obviously, we'll chop this up properly tomorrow when we've got more time. Do you think that is this a no smoke without fire situation where one of these people who've been linked to us has to be more than journalists saying things for the sake of just trying to have something to talk to? Do you believe that there is a definite like strong possibility that what any of the 3 or 4 people who we've been linked with, it's a real thing and it's not just just putting something out there for the sake of it.
It could be. It could be that. Very interested. One thing I do think, though, and again, I'm just going based off what I've read and a bit of speculation and me trying to put 2 and 2 together. I'm not getting 4, but just what I think. I get the notion that FSG only want to sell to other Americans.
Okay.
So I do see it happening down that route. The whole selling to a state, that's always going to be contentious. My thing is this, and not even to get deep on the whole World Cup politics and all that as well. I find it very difficult to speak from a morality standpoint when you can break down everything in football right now and see how many things are immoral. Now, I get some things are worse than others. For example, I'd rather someone steal my Wi-Fi than come in and steal my laptop from my house, for example. Like, there's a big difference in terms of levels.
I thought you was going to say, someone coming to steal my wife. I was going to say, what the hell?
You say my neighbor just knocks on the door like, big man, it's not looking good, bruv. She wants me, bruv.
Listen, man, come in my house and steal my wife. For your wife, what the fuck?
But like, so like, and again, we sit here and speak about morality and things, and it's like, we're sponsored by Nike. They've got a history, but I didn't see people up in arms about that. Like, you look at some of our other sponsors, our owners, they've got a history of doing a few shady things. AXA, who are sponsoring our training ground, again, there's she's looking to dip, yeah. Big up Lakers as well. But like, for me, like, again, there are human rights and all that. Don't get me wrong, like there are absolute levels to it, but like, we can't sit here and say there's no clean billionaires, but then say, oh, that one's too dirty. Like, we don't know a lot of the times, and we can't tar people with the same brush. I grew up in Thornton Heath, bro. Thornton Heath is known to be a rough area. I'm not a roadman. I'm not about gang life. Like, I'm not about any of that stuff. So you can't just, because someone comes from a certain place, just be like, oh, well, he's from there. That's what they're all about. Like, just look at the person rather than look at where they're from. And that's all I say. But look, I just want ambitious owners who are willing to back and invest in the squad. Everything else is there, infrastructure-wise. Let's just go and get someone and let's start winning some bloody trophies, man.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's real. A lot of people, we won't go into it, but like you said, apparently AXA have done a lot of like shady stuff and they sponsor our training ground. You're right. Like, you just don't know. You just don't know. It's one of them things. So, boy, but we'll chop that up properly tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Big up to everyone who jumped in on this relatively last minute stream. Hope you all enjoyed. Big up to everyone who's in the chat right now.
They definitely enjoyed.
Yeah. Smash the like button for us, please, people.
Yes.
It is. I think a lot of people forget how important it helps the channel, man. So please just smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification to make sure. And I got 3 more supers. One just come in before we leave out. Cal waiting to give Ward his last check. PR, is the Prem just becoming the Super League? Very good point, you know.
Maybe.
Very good point. If everybody just gets bought out by all these big boys, it will become the Super League for real. It'll just be who can, basically, bro, it will actually be, I remember when you said this about, what do you call it, about Brendan Rodgers, and I could not stop laughing because it was so funny. Remember when you said that Brendan Rodgers came in and it was like he just wanted to like stamp his authority on everything, and it was like
he put his dick on the table.
Yeah, bro. He just walked in the room, put his dick on the table, and said to everyone, "Look how big it is." And that will be what it will end up being like if everybody's got superpower owners in it. It'll just be like who can put their dick on the table and show how big it is. That's what it'll end up being, bro. It'll just be everybody trying to outdo everybody, and it will become a bit of a super league. Like it will, but you know, as long as we got owners that can compete in there, so we're not a backup dancer, then I'm all good with that. Voice of Reason says selective morality, it stinks. Yeah, very true. I'm not really about it's like when people want to pick a bit out of the Bible that they agree with, but then they want to ignore the part that means they can't live their life a certain way. You know them ones, bruv, like
I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, bruv.
I think most people are. But then the difference is you're not knocking on somebody's doorstep trying to tell them how to live their life. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Messi FC says, Cal waiting to close the kitchen after that.
Oh no, you guys are brilliant.
Oh man. So big up each and every time to everyone, man. Smash that like button, as I said. We'll be back tomorrow, and we're just gonna leave you with another little video on the way out to remind you guys that we are now in partnership with Penguin Publishing. The link to Henderson's book will be in the description, guys. Make sure you go over there and support our captain, man. And we will be back tomorrow with the announcement for the second part of our competition. And to speak to you guys, it's the call-in show. We love that show. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Hey, mama, I love you. POP, hold it down. Pimp Squad, baby.
Hi, I'm Jordan Henderson, and my autobiography is out now. I try to be as honest as I possibly can, you know, really. I try to be open and honest with how I was feeling in certain times and certain moments through my career, right from the beginning, throughout, really. And I think it might shock a few people at certain moments, so it was nice to go back and look at certain times and go through the ups and downs that I've had and reflect a little bit. So it was a good process of doing that, and I realised that my journey so far has been like a roller coaster, really. So I've enjoyed every minute of it, and hopefully I can still got a lot more chapters left in the future. If anyone can take inspiration from reading the book, I think that's a big positive, and that's the reason for doing it, really. The book is out now in hardback and audiobook.